Okay, so this is definitely not a tech channel. However, I'm using cameras all the time. And recently, and by that I mean today, I picked up this DJI Action 5 Pro. And I thought it would be interesting to put it against my $6,000 camera setup that I'm using right now. Why, you may be asking? I don't know, for science, I guess. And for those of you interested, let me show you what we are working with. So we have the Sony a7 IV with the Sony 16-35 G Master 2 lens right here. I have an ND filter from Nisi and Larkin M2 microphones. So this setup right here will be about $60 to $100, including taxes and also excluding any sort of discounts whatsoever. Now, in terms of the reason why I picked up the action camera, there's actually two reasons. One of them will be POV shots, which I would obviously not be able to do with this huge camera. I mean, you can theoretically do it, but it's not really practical. And the reason number two will be that sometimes you're not really allowed to shoot with a professional camera, or some people might have something against that, so it'll be much easier to shoot with something as small as an action camera. Also, it's great for traveling and B-rolls from time to time. So the main goal of this video will be to see if I can combine the footage from this camera with the footage from this camera and kind of mix them together to the point where there's not really too much difference between them. That's the idea, and we'll see how good this performs today. Let's do that. Okay, two things to mention. One, I'll be putting the details of each camera and what profile I'm using in the corner of the video, so you'll always know which video is from which camera. And number two is that I'll be shooting everything with the action cam in D-Log-M. For those of you who are not aware what a log profile is, it looks like this, and then you color grade it, and yeah, it looks like this. So the reason why I'm using the D-Log-M is because it will contain more information in the shadows and also in the highlights, and therefore the footage should at least look a little bit better than the regular standard profile. I'll be showing you some examples with that as well, but yeah, most of the video will be shot in D-Log-M. And also, since we're on this topic, this is the stabilization from the Sony camera, and this is the stabilization of the Action 5 handheld on a tripod right now. And this is the stabilization while walking. I'm not gonna run or anything like that. I don't see the point in that because I'm not planning on using it for running or extreme sports, but sure, there's a lot of channels out there who'll cover that. Anyway, let's go now and show you some footage samples to compare. Okay, so I'm back home now. I actually ended up taking the same route again with the standard profile on the Action 5 just to make sure I'm comparing the footage properly. And now I'm waiting to get a little bit darker outside so we can test the low light performance as well. So I'm gonna be waiting a few hours, but for you, I mean, there you go. This is the low light performance. Okay, so this is the next day and I actually had enough time to check out the footage and compare it and see which is which. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody thought this small camera would be better than something like this. I mean, the Action 5 is literally the size of my AirPods, so you can potentially see like the difference right here. I mean, it's just physics. This one will never be as good as something like this. However, I was impressed. During the day, especially when you have enough light, the footage looks amazing. And I mean, really, really good. You can see in this frame right here, you can actually pass this action camera for a professional camera in certain situations if you have enough light. The problem is, as with all the action cameras out there and the phones, the size of the sensor. I mean, the sensor is literally the size of this right here from my phone. It's the size of my fingernail. And if it doesn't have enough light, then the quality will drop significantly. I mean, yesterday I was shooting in the same environment as this one right here, and let me know how this footage looks like. I mean, I don't see it yet, but I'll probably see it after I edit the entire video, but I don't think it looks that good, or at least not as good as the one from outside. So yeah, it's not better than the camera. However, you can, especially if you're shooting outside, you can combine the footage from this with the footage from this. And that is basically what I was looking for. I mainly use the camera as my POV and also sometimes use it for vlogging in short distances. So yeah, for that, I think it is an amazing product. Now, when it comes to action cameras in general, I think this one, in my opinion, is the best one on the market that you can purchase right now. Until about 2 weeks ago, I had a GoPro, which I sold in order to get this one, and I do not regret it. The quality is significantly better on this. Better than the GoPro, better than the Insta360, better than everything that's on the market right now when it comes to action cameras. If you're shooting in the standard profile, I would say it's probably on par with something like the GoPro Hero 13, but as soon as you switch to D-Log-M, in my opinion, I think it looks slightly better in daylight. And when it comes to nightlight, I mean, there's not even a difference. It's comparing this to the GoPro in low light is like comparing a 2024 camera to a 2005 camera. Now, when it comes to the low light performance of this camera, it is good, but it's definitely not as good as everybody make it out to be. It's still an action camera. Although the footage is decent, it's not something that I can consider very usable, at least in a semi-professional way. Let's put it like that. So I would definitely not recommend this one as the main camera. So if you're planning on opening up a YouTube channel or using it professionally, then this is not it. However, if you are somebody who does a lot of sports, you know, you are playing football and you need a POV, you are riding your bike, motorcycle, then this is probably gonna be your only options or your best option in that regard. But for a main camera like this sort of talking videos, then is definitely not the best. The night mode, which is also something that a lot of people are praising as the best thing ever, the best invention in the past 10 years, it is horrible. It's shit. It's literally like Play-Doh. So I showed you some footage in the video and you can see how bad the quality is compared to the normal profile. And as a matter of fact, you know what, let's switch right now to the night mode just to see how it is, because I did use it in a very dark environment. So this is at least slightly brighter than last night. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, so this is the super night mode from DJI, and just by looking at the small screen right here, I do not like this quality, to be honest. But let me know, I don't see it yet. I'll make an edit and yeah, but overall, how does it look? Does it look better than the previous one? Previous one was shot in D-Log-M. This is a super night mode, so does it look better? I don't think so, but either way, yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, final thoughts. This camera is great. I'm really surprised about how good the quality is in daylight. Nighttime and low light is, again, it's okay. For an action camera, it's better than okay, but overall, I don't think I'm gonna use it in low light that much. However, if an action camera is what you're going for, this is, again, the best one on the market that you can purchase right now. So yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.